Good to see you guys here today. Thanks for coming. I think starting with a couple things that just stand out to me right off the bat was, one, our crowd. I think I saw those statistics yesterday. I think we led our conference in attendance in the first game by a wide margin. And I think there's been some malignment of our crowds, and just to have a great crowd that was into it. If you saw the scene afterwards of our guys on the fence and our crowd on the fence with them, it was just, it was a thing of beauty. So I want to thank our crowd for being there, and obviously we're looking for bigger and better as we get back home in another week. I want to thank our players and our staff, not just for the win, but more importantly for the attitude and the work they put in up to this point. If you saw the press conference after the game, it was pretty emotional. And I think that's the thing from our point of view. It is a family. It is a lot of guys that have paid a big price to do the things they're doing, and I'm just really proud of them. And I would have been proud of whatever happened, but I was extremely proud of them. So talking about the game, it was a great team effort. Didn't start out just exactly like we hoped, but that's just part of the game. Sometimes we have to adjust defense. We didn't get aligned. That was on me. We were trying to do some things defensively and didn't get ourselves aligned, and I take blame for that. And we went in there and settled down. Our defensive coaches made some really good adjustments. Our guys didn't panic, and then played extremely well from then on. We tackled well. We still missed a few tackles. Got to continue to get better. But we tackled well for the most part. We had a great effort. We're sound. Fit our gaps really well. Had a few chances for them takeaways we'd like to see, but we got some. And then, of course, flipping to the offense, great start. Just really came in and answered the bell after the defense. We'd give up a touchdown. And, you'd start talking about, I don't have all those stats in front of me, but I think 10 of 13 on third downs, and red zone almost 100%. Maybe it was 100% of scores, and no sacks. It was just a terrific day from them. The offensive line was great. Running backs, quarterbacks, we had a lot of great blocking and perimeter by our receivers. And then, of course, special teams was really good. We've got some things, obviously, that, as always, from a first to a second game we want to correct. But really a great job by our specialists, holder, snapper, all those folks, and then all those guys on the special team. For the most part, we really reached almost every goal but one. I think in the special teams, I think offense and defense was basically in those same categories. Maybe one or two goals they didn't reach, and we have some pretty good goals there. So just a really good effort overall. Really proud for all these guys. And as somebody reminded me today in a text I just got, congratulations, had all these congratulations and texts, but it is only one game. So, people are going to keep you and remind you of the real world. And so, we get the fun of going to a top 20, maybe a top 10 team on the road, SEC, all the above. But, we're looking forward to it. We've been saying this since we've been here. It's the next game, and we're going to just play the next game, and it's going to be our biggest game, and that's how we should play it. But and we can answer questions about them. But they, just what little I've seen of them, hadn't played against them 2 years ago. They very well coached, great talent, and just a lot of great players. So we've got our work cut out. Questions?
Coach, I know that you always believe in your team, but after you saw the product on the field, did the expectations go up about what you expect to see every single week?
I tell our guys all the time, boy, my expectations are really high, and our staff is. So, yeah, it's good to see. And we talked about yesterday, for us it's a lot easier to teach after a win. You can teach after a loss, and that's probably the things we all remember. I would rather not experience the loss. I'd rather just turn that screw a little bit more. But I think our guys know that. We came right into meetings today and we said, hey, this is good, but it's not great. We want to be great. And so these are the things we've got to do. If you just look on our schedule and who's coming up and the success they're having, we've got to continue to get better. So, yeah, the expectations are high. That doesn't hurt what we did, so we should have high expectations.
Coach, the wise man said that it's not enough just to say the right thing, but you must do them. How concerned are you about your team not offering any bulletin board material going into the Mississippi State game?
We should never give bulletin board material. I think that's just I don't understand. I don't understand how you don't have respect for opponents, how you would say anything or give them. I just don't understand that. So I don't expect that to happen. We talk about that all the time. I use Kennard over there. He scores his first touchdown. He hands the ball to the official. He tosses him the ball. That's how we play. We've got to learn even on sacks. with some of our guys. We celebrate with teammates. I mean, it's just who we are. We want to celebrate with teammates. We want to have tons of enthusiasm, but we want to do it with each other. We don't call out the opponents. I mean, I've got respect for everybody we play, so that should never happen from us, just to be real honest.
Are you concerned at all that the success and euphoria of Saturday might spill over into overconfidence?
I don't think so. I really don't, because we talk about those things. We expected success. We sit in our room every day. I don't know what everybody else expected, but, I've seen who these guys are. I wanted to see it in a game, but I expected them to do well. It's the next game. It's the next game. That one's great. Nobody can take that game away from us, but we're going to the next one, and we've got to keep doing that. So confidence is good. We want to be confident. Confidence comes from, success, and we should be confident but not cocky. And I don't believe you'll see that. I heard a great thing coming off the field from one of our former players. He said, "Coach, it was amazing how excited your guys were, but a lot of them were already talking about the next game." And I think hopefully that's what we can get. We do want to enjoy it. I don't want to be blasé about a big win, because it was huge, but it's time for the next one, and that's what we got to do.
Do you think, I was going to say, do you think being 1-0, does that allow you to play looser? If going in knowing you're not staring down the barrel of 0-2
Sure.
and knowing what this program has been through?
I do think, I think that's a fair question. I think an in-state game, that was a big game. It was in-state, and it was first. It was first for our program. So, with us here, I think that's big. I think that may loosen us up a little bit, but it shouldn't change our effort. It shouldn't change our focus. It shouldn't change our intensity. We do want to be relaxed. I think maybe a little bit we were tight. I really believe just as focused as I've ever seen a team from really early on, specifically Friday night. I've talked about teams in championship games, and they were that focused. Maybe we were a hair tight, but I'm not going to use that as an excuse. Let's see. Let's hope we can keep that focus. That's what I want to see.
Coach, how is the team in terms of injuries?
We're in great shape. Really came out super healthy. It was good that we were up a little bit there at the end. We got to play a lot of folks, and really those guys came in and did a good job. So we're in really good shape. We might have one or two little minor things, but I think that's one of the things I'm proudest of, is to have a physical summer, especially since we didn't have to get everything done in the spring. We really got to be physical. We put a lot on them, a lot on their legs, and yet we came out. We went into that game healthy, and we're going into this week healthy.
Which is the biggest challenge, Mississippi State's offense or the defense?
Wow, that's a great question. I think offensively, they got weapons everywhere. They're monstrously big. Then they've got a quarterback that's got a chance to play with the Heisman, and I've seen him. I saw him when he was a sophomore, and we went and played pretty well when I was at South, but he was the guy they brought in, and he was unbelievable. Defensively, they're super well coached, and they're big and fast. They don't just sit in one place. They're multiple in their scheme, and then they get in a good special teams. Well, of course, that's why they're thinking they got a chance to win the SEC this year. So this is going to be a great test for us, and we'll just kind of see where we are. But I think they've definitely they're as good as advertised in what I see. From what I see from, I thought Southern Miss, from what I'd seen last year and this year, was improved, and time will tell on that. But they handled them.
Coach, how much does it help you in prep, the fact that their offense is similar as far as up-tempo? Does
Right.
it help your defense at all this week?
Yeah, I think any up-tempo helps you. But just like with us Saturday, we can work it and work it and work it, and the reality is, there it is, guys, that we've been telling you about. Now, as coaches, we've sometimes got to say, all right, we're just going to go get lined up and play, and that's kind of what we end up having to do. I don't know. There's all kind of different speeds of tempo. They may not be quite as fast as we are, but I've seen them sometimes with, they can't get the camera on. So it's kind of that varying tempo that we're all using, but it should help us. It should help us defensively. I know it helped us Saturday for Troy.
Coach, you guys, historically, this program struggled to win the city and to win recruits
Right.
in this area. Coming out with the enthusiasm and the excitement that you guys have and posting a big win, what does that do for you as far as capturing?
It was huge. I think, I had a bunch of high school coaches. I know these guys. I got guys that played for me that are high school coaches now and coach for me. Said, Coach, someone were there. Their players told them it was terrific. The atmosphere was great. We had that great deal in the end zone. We had tons of recruits there. Our fans did a good job. and I think that's going to get better, and then hopefully, they saw a good product. So I was definitely pleased, heard nothing but good reviews. And I think, one of the things we talked about in our first press conference was winning local. Well, we got to have positive things coming out of our program, because that's what those guys hear every day. And, I used to say it at Prattville all the time, when you go, don't talk to the coach, go really talk to the players. What do they say? Who is this coach really? Does he work them hard because he's not going to have a job if he don't? But does he care about them? And I think these guys hopefully are starting to talk to our players and hear, who are we really? And I think that's going to come out. It's not going to happen overnight, but it'll come. And I think Saturday was a great start.
From the guys that got in late, was there anybody that really jumped out that you thought may have earned the opportunity to play a little more?
Well, so that's a great question. Just to say, I'm not really going to name anybody other than to say every week as a player it's a refocus, and I'm looking on the sideline to see who ducks his head, who's upset, who's mad that he didn't get in, because our number one goal is to win. We say we hold the mirror up every day to what we do in practice. Practice earns you playing time. Now, you may be good and the guy in front of you is just better. I mean, that can happen as well. But a season is a long time. There's injuries. There's you getting better as a player, and you've got a chance to play more. There's the few chances you may get in a game, you perform. So there's all these different ways for that depth chart to change. And, we had some guys that came in and did well at the end and may have earned some more time or more trust or more confidence. So there's just all kind of factors that'll change. So, we just got to reset this week. And, and I challenged our coaches to be honest with those guys before the game. For example, on another note, our receivers didn't know we weren't going to throw it a lot. But who knew we were going to run the ball that well? So you don't – and I said that to me is what balance is. We're going to be able to run the ball. If they want to put everybody in the box and take a run game away, we've got to be able to throw the ball. And it may be this week that we got to throw it more than we run it. I don't know. So, but I don't want receivers over there upset because we didn't throw it to them all the time. They ought to be happy that we won and played well, and they were. And that's what I saw. But that's a big deal to me.
In your mind, to be successful this week, does your offense need to be more balanced? Do you expect more run, pass, balance?
I don't know what to expect, really. I want to be balanced, and I want us to be balanced, and I think that'll just happen. We've got to be able to execute in the throwing game just like we do in the running game. And, I would say they're studying exactly what we did, and they're going to know when we did what we did on 1st and 10 on the left hash from the -20, and they're going to be pretty good against that. So we've got to be ready to break those tendencies when need be. But a lot of times, and I say this defensively when I talk to people, tendencies are created because you do something well. So sometimes you just got to make them stop it too. So we'll see. We'll see. But we want to be able to be balanced to answer that.
You spent most of your coaching career here in the state of Alabama. Your players, a lot of them grew up in Alabama. When you're dealing with something like the SEC shadow that we hear so much about, is that a real motivating factor? Is that really something that goes through their head when it's an umbrella, I guess, and the fact that they get a chance to go up against
Sure.
these?
Yeah, I think it's big. I think they hear about it. They know about it. They see the facilities and all, and it's got to be a motivator for our guys. But once again, it's the next opponent, and that should be a motivator as well. But I mean, sure, I think I think it's a big deal, and it'll be a good test for us.
Other
Talk a
questions
little
for
bit
Coach?
about Harris Gaston.
Yeah, Harris Gaston was a guy that played for us. He's a local guy at Bessemer, and he played for us at Jack State. Harris had decided he was going to take a job for Homeland Security, and the NCAA had granted him a 6-year, and he left the Jack State program and just a few days after he gets the job decides he wants to take another shot at it. So we made sure he was clear on the waivers and everything, but great local guy, played for me for a year at Jacksonville. We'll have a chance maybe to play at the next level. Super student, and then once again just another local guy that's good to see. But it was great to have a guy that had been with me before. Just got him eligible.
Does this offense require, you think, 2 running backs, or do you expect one guy to kind of?
No, I think it takes 2. I think it takes 2. When you start talking about, our goal was 80 snaps. We slowed it down a little bit at the end of the game because we were up. So let's just use 80 snaps. I mean, that's 40 and 40. That's a lot of snaps. Going full speed, doing what we're asking them to do. I like 2 backs, and maybe someday we have 3. But I think Jordan will be the first one to tell you, boy, I'm a lot better when I'm rested, and there's just a lot less hits. So I think having 2 guys is huge.
Are they comparable to the guys you had at JSU? I mean, your offense sure looked a lot like that. Style-wise, are they comparable to?
I think so. I think so. I mean, I love my guys at Jack State, but I wouldn't trade our guys we got right now. I really wouldn't. I mean, I think we've got a good stable of backs, but our lead two guys are pretty good. And I've said this before, not just with them sitting here. They're humble. They work hard. They complement their offensive line. They're good pass protectors. Their ball security is good. They know what we're doing. I mean, just good guys and are doing a really good job. So hopefully we keep that going.
Do the two of them bring something different to the line of scrimmage when they come in?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're probably just a little bit different. I think they're both good guys out of the backfield. They both can catch the ball well. And they're just a little bit different in stature, and just maybe just a little bit different gait. And I think that's sometimes a little bit hard defensively. This guy's this way, this guy's that way, and it's hard to get a grasp on what the style is.
Did you get a chance to watch Mississippi State Southern Miss, and kind of what thoughts went through your mind while you were watching?
Wow. And I've seen them. I played we coached in 3 Alabama-Mississippi games. We always laughed and said the field tilted when they came on the field, just big people. I mean, literally, just some really big athletes. These are big guys that can really run. But, they're very sound. I think that's the thing. These guys are very well coached. They were impressive. Southern Miss is in our league. They had them 28-0 at half. So, I don't compare scores, but, I mean, that's enough to get our attention. And we knew they were going to be good. So it's nothing we didn't know about. But they were impressive, and then you cut the film on and you see why. Very sound. Very sound.
Anything else for Coach? All right, thank you.
Okay, guys, thank y'all for being here.